The intent of the Board of Commissioners of the Wheaton Park District to adopt a budget and appropriation ordinance for the period beginning January 1, 2020 and ending December 31, 2020. Mike, would you call the roll?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Vyers?
Here.
Commissioner Morrill?
Here.
Commissioner Kelly?
Here.
Commissioner Fry?
Here.
Commissioner Fahey?
Here.
President Mee?
Here. Mike's going to give us a little summary.
So the public hearing today is concerning the Park Board's intent to adopt a budget and appropriation ordinance for the period beginning January 1, 2020 and ending December 31st, 2020. A brief outline of what's included within the budget and appropriation ordinance I'll provide right now. The estimated cash on hand at the beginning of the fiscal year, beginning January 1, 2020, is $21,822,521. The cash expected to be received during the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2020 from all sources is $37,252,776. The estimated expenditures contemplated for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2020 are $40,494,917. The estimated cash expected to be on hand at the conclusion of this fiscal year beginning January 1, 2020 is $18,580,380. The estimated amount of taxes to be received by the Wheaton Park District during the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2020 is $18,424,332. The entire sums of money within the budgeted column beginning January 1, 2020 and ending December 31, 2020 is $43,242,968. And the total sums of money in the appropriation column and the budget and appropriation ordinance for the year beginning January 1, 2020 and ending December 31st, 2020 is $51,891,561. The budget process begins in June of every year and runs through either November or December. We are on schedule for the board with this, if this hearing closes today, to adopt the budget and appropriation ordinance at our November meeting, which is next month. A final FYI for what's contemplated for the next fiscal year is that our capital projects fund, our capital projects totals for 2020 are included in the budget ad, and the estimated project totals are $6,216,599. That concludes a brief overview of the public hearing topic, and I would yield the floor back to the President to see if there's any public comment.
Does not appear that we have any member of the public that wishes to address us, so I would look to any commissioner comment.
Nope.
And just for the record, we've had a significant amount of discussion, in previous subcommittee and other meetings about this. And Mike, I appreciate, your work and the work of our, finance staff on this. I think we are where we need to be. Before I seek a motion to close the public hearing, sure, there's no other comment. All right, I would look to for a motion to close the public hearing.
Moved. Second.
Vyers?
Yeah.
Fahey. We've got a motion by Vyers and a second by Fahey. Mike?
Commissioner Vyers?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Fry?
Yes.
Commissioner Fahey?
Yes.
President Mee?
Yes, and thanks again, Mike.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
And we'll move right into the meeting of the Park Board of Commissioners for October 16, 2019. It is about 7:04. So, Mike, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Vyers?
Yeah.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Fry?
Yes.
Commissioner Fahey?
Here.
President Mee?
Here. Looks like we have some presentations. Sue, are you up on the block?
This is a video that was put together by Martin and Carrie Moreland and our capital campaign coordinator, Jackie Mazzone, myself. This is a video that we're going to be using to promote our Renew the Zoo campaign for phase 1 of our master plan. Waldron, Director of Cosley Zoo, and I've been working at this amazing facility since 1984. The mission of the zoo is to create connections between people and animals that will inspire lifelong conservation of the natural world.
I'm Gwen Henry. I'm the DuPage County Treasurer. Cosley is important to the county and the life of our residents because it does a variety of things. It's education, it's entertainment, and it does environmental issues. And so all of those are important to DuPage County.
As a small institution, we have chosen to keep our focus, our animal focus, very narrow. So we specialize in native Illinois wildlife and domestic farm animals. And these are animals that very much impact the quality of life for people that live in this region. One of the things that we are the most proud of in our development over the years is the fact that we are accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. What that means is that everything that we do at the zoo, animal care, education, conservation, all those things meet the exact same standards as every other accredited zoo regardless of size. At its heart, Cosley Zoo is a conservation organization. We are involved in conservation in many ways, from raising awareness, raising funds for projects both local, international, national. Our biggest field conservation program is our work with Blanding's turtles. They're a state endangered species. In almost 2 decades, we have released more than 3,000 turtles back into DuPage County. Our educational programs, I have to say, I'm a little biased, but are phenomenal. We have programs from 18-month-old children up to active seniors, from 10-minute very informal animal encounters to all-day teacher workshops, and I see truly amazing, wonderful things come out of these programs every day.
There are so many wonderful programs at Cosley Zoo, but my personal favorite was the Junior Zookeeper program. At such a young age of 14, you're able to start preparing for your future. So you're able to learn about the animals here and whether or not you want to pursue zookeeping, education, or any of the other fields that Cosley can offer. I remember my first day as a junior zookeeper. I felt so proud that I was able to be an ambassador for Cosley Zoo as well as these animals and educate such young children and get them excited about animals, get them excited about what the zoo is doing in our community and their own backyard, and how to get them caring about nature and conservation.
Well, planning is extremely important. I think it's especially critical for a small institution like Cosley Zoo. We have limited resources. Having this plan will set us up to remain relevant and sustainable for generations to come. It'll help us stay on top of all those conservation initiatives and educating the public and making those critical connections to animals that we need in this ever-increasing urbanized society. The plan will be implemented over at least 20 years, and it'll be done in phases. Some of the phases include a new entry complex, the rivers exhibit, which will be phenomenal with river otters and beavers. It'll also have the wilds, which will include some of the current animals we have, but also be able to bring in some really neat animals like mountain lions and black bears that were once native to the state. We'll also have Forest of Illinois biome, which will take you from the forest floor up to the treetops, seeing all the different kinds of animals that live there. Our first phase, called Renew the Zoo, is going to actually encompass expanding our current parking, as well as creating a safe way for visitors to get into the zoo with an overpass, and the renovation of our iconic red barn, not only to make it more of a destination for kids to come through and do some kind of self-led learning activities, a little more immersive, but it'll also rehab the second floor, which will provide a much more efficient and effective event space and it'll be accessible for everybody.
Renew the zoo is important, and it's a great concept to say, the zoo is here now, and it will still be here, but if we can renew it and make it even better, save more animals, do more education, that's a great thing.
I want to offer my personal and most profound thanks to all of our visitors and supporters that have helped make Cosley Zoo what we are, one of the premier small zoos in the country today. I ask you to join us in supporting Renew the Zoo so that you can help us continue to connect people with animals for generations to come.
Very nice.
It was excellent.
By the way, Sue,
Very, very nice.
Nicely done by you and the staff.
That was a great production.
Well, while we have Sue as a captive audience, anybody want to direct any questions to Sue? Apparently you're off the hook. I do want to comment about the Neighbors Night. He scheduled Casley Zoo Neighbors Night last Thursday. I attended, along with Sue and Mike, and I would say to you this, that we certainly had a number of interested neighbors show up, and there was not a significant amount of vocal opposition, but there was certainly a lot of interest, and they were very inquisitive about, where we're going and when we're going and so forth. But, there was certainly support at the same time, some lack of, total understanding about our project. But, Sue and Mike did a great job, of, providing them with some additional information. And, I think the main thing is we're still a long way to go in terms of, fundraising. So I would say that we're at least a couple years away, Mike, from any expansion at this point in time, including parking.
That our current estimates would be, we would be hoping to build the parking lot and the overpass and the barn renovation probably in 22 or 23.
Okay. Well, anyway, it was Sue and Mike, I appreciate, your presentations, because I think it was, very informative for the, how many, what do we have, about 20 neighbors, maybe 25? Does that sound about right? Did they? Okay. Well, in any event, it was a good presentation, so thanks, Sue. Thanks, Mike. I think next up, who's presenting for the Lubco Center? All right.
Good evening. My name's Megan Panic. I've been with the Park District now about a year and a half. This is my second round of presentations, and I had to follow the super cute animals. So here we go. We hired a new trip coordinator. She started in August. So she's been going out about 2 months now, and she's doing fantastic. Today, we actually took our 6th and final sold-out trip to Hamilton. So we've taken about 300 people to see the show now, which is crazy because it's an expensive day, and they're loving it. So we're happy to do it for them. A couple things coming up this winter. We have a holiday lights trip. We took about 105 people last year, and we've got another 100 signed up this year. So we had to split it out to 2 dates because of the popularity. We had no idea that many people loved holiday lights. We're going on some 2020 trips we're working on: Chicago Shakespeare Theater, Paramount Theater, Drury Lane, the Goodman, doing some tours out at the Jacob Henry Mansion. We're going to the Pullman District, the Palmer House, we're doing a tour. So we try to fit a little bit of everything budget-wise, and just try to do a little different stuff so everyone has something that they enjoy. We're bringing back our in-house extended trips next year, so we'll be going to Springfield in the spring, and we'll be going to Door County in the fall. Our extended trips have boomed. Last year, our commission was about $12,000. This year, we're already at $20,000, and we've got several more coming up that are not included in that amount. The big trips that kind of brought that money in, we took about 40 people to Greece in April. We took 25 to Iceland in August, and about 10 to the Blue Danube. So those were the big sellers for us this year. Next year, we introduced a new travel company. So we're working with Mayflower, who's been with us for a while, and we introduced Colette starting for 2020. So some of those tours, we've got 10 people going to Costa Rica, 11 people going to the Cherry Blossom, a few going to the Rhine River, about 5 going to Tuscany, 10 going to New York, and 5 for New England. And that's just up to this point. I would guess that those will go up quite a bit in the coming months. And then just some new events we've got next year. We've got an afternoon at the Oscars. We're doing a sock hop, and then our traditional sunshine luncheon. So we're trying to keep up and just increase numbers because people are seeming to enjoy. So we're here for them.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, good work,
Questions,
Megan.
comments? I guess you're off the hook. Thank you very much. Next up, the adult education programs.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Matthew Roble. I'm the Adult Education and Recreation Supervisor for the Wheaton Park District. I've been here about 8 years now, so it's going pretty strong. Some highlights that have happened already in the fall of 2019. I hired on a new pickleball instructor, Patricia Gibbons. So she's looking very much excited about starting our pickleball beginners class, which is going to be in the winter of 2020. But I'm going to back up a little bit. In late November and early December, we're actually going to offer a pilot beginner pickleball class just to try and bring in more people, get them interested, which she's going to be running on Sundays. Some recent successes for adult ed, added a second level for people training dogs. Since the first class was so successful, people actually wanted a little bit more training from my instructor, so we added a second class to accommodate them all. As well, I took on the Chicago Cubs trip from the Mary Lubko Center this past August. We had 53 participants, was looking for 54, but I'm all right with eating that one ticket. We actually had a net profit of $1,125, which was pretty huge for adult ed. So that's a huge success. And then some diverse program offerings that are coming up in winter and spring 2020. Ukulele, again, Chicago Cubs trip. I'm thinking maybe Milwaukee this time, because that was pretty cool seeing them play the Brewers in Wrigley. As well, I have a new job search and resume writing, as well the pickleball beginners class. So, questions, concerns?
Well done, Matthew.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. All right, again, we have no member of the public for any public comment, so I'll move on to the consent agenda. Before I read the consent agenda in the record, any of the commissioners have any desire for a removal of any of the items?
No.
All right, we've got 3 items on the consent agenda. Item A, approval of disbursements totaling $1,434,926.47 for the period beginning September 11, 2019, and ending October 8, 2019. B, approval of September 18, 2019 regular meeting minutes. C, approval of expenses over $10,000 but under the legal bid limit. And sub A, payment to Booster Shot LLC in the amount of $10,179 for Rams football program fundraiser expenses. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Was that Mr. Fry and
Fry and Fahey.
Fahey?
Twins.
So we have a motion by Fry and a second by Fahey. Mike, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Vyers.
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill.
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Fry.
Yes.
Commissioner Fahey.
Yes.
President Mee.
Yes, sir. Moving on to unfinished business, I need a motion to approve a change order related to the Memorial Park renovation project.
Terry, I moved the table.
Yes, sir? Do I have a second? John? John and John?
Yeah, so in discussing this, I wasn't at the Buildings and Grounds Subcommittee meeting, but we've already given the contractor direction to proceed, and we've already approved the $70. So we won't write the change order until they're done with the work and we get a count on the loads. They're about 35 loads into it now, and, you know, there's still most of it to go when they start digging for the storm trap. So we don't need to write a change order till we have a full dollar amount.
Any questions for John? Thanks, John. And we do have that motion by Kelly and a second by Byers, and that we are moving to table. Unfinished business, item number 2.
We vote on that, or is that done?
With the second, it's tabled.
It's
Got
tabled. So moving on to item number 2, need a motion to approve a change order related to the Central Athletic Complex lobby and restroom project.
I'll move to approve the change order number 4 from G. Fisher Construction for bond insurance and costs in the amount of $599.34.
I'll second.
John, any comments about that?
Yeah, so the reason this is coming about now is when we negotiated the first pricing with Fisher on changes, he was tagging on bond costs on the ads. And he's entitled to get reimbursed. At the end of the job, he submits his final contractor price to his bonding company, and then they'll charge him his normal rate for increased bond. So I suggested at that time we take it out of all the change orders in case we had some credits and ads, and we just wait till the end of the job. So the job's finished, he's got a final contract amount, and this is the amount his bond company is. So
And this is,
under the contract, he's entitled to get paid for this.
right, and that's coming out of the contingency fund, though. We're
Yeah.
not, yeah, so I mean,
Yeah,
we're
like
not
all the
spending any.
change orders did, it's coming out. It's just instead of seeing a little bit on each change, we waited to do it all once.
John, thanks for your continuing work on that project. It's helpful to us. So we have a Motion by Fahey and a second by Kelly. Mike? We can go.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Moving on to new business. Item number 3, employee health insurance. Need a motion to approve a Blue Cross Blue Shield cost related to our program at this point in time.
I'll move for the approval of the employee health insurance. Approve Blue Cross Blue Shield for the 2021 year's employee health insurance program that costs approximately $1,268,596.68 per year with fully integrated guidance resource program at $1.28 per employee per month.
Second.
Who was that second?
Fahey.
Fahey? Any commissioner comment, questions?
I would just like to say, I think this was a 3-year term that we have with Blue Cross Blue Shield? Two. Okay. But we are saving, I think, close to $1 million, is that correct?
The figure is between 2019 and now with locking our rates in for 2020 and 2021, over the 2018 healthcare year, if you will, the Park District will be saving $1.4 million in health insurance premiums in comparison to that 2018 year with the change we made from leaving a pooled environment and going on our own with a broker.
So this is a good decision and good work.
Yeah, I want to thank
Thank
Mike
you.
and the staff, for getting us to this point, because that's a significant savings, and I think we're going to be able to pass on some to the employee too. So thank you, Mike. So we have a motion by Fry and a second by Fahey. Roll call vote, Mike?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Fry?
Yes.
Commissioner Fahey?
Yes.
Commissioner Vyers?
Yes.
President Mee?
Yes. Moving on to item number 4, need a motion related to the hail damage roof replacement at the 855 Prairie Building in Cosley Zoo.
I'll move to approve the proposal from IRCA, Illinois Roofing Consulting Associates, for bidding plans and specifications at a cost of $9,000.
Second.
Any comments, questions?
Just a comment. So for people who don't know, in the last 10 years, we switched over to using a roofing consultant to write all our specs for our roof projects rather than just going directly to contractors. And these roof consultants write an open spec, which allows us to bid products from multiple manufacturers. And I think we've seen it over the years. The savings has been really good. Plus, they provide on-site supervision during the installations. That ensures that we get a good quality installation.
Thank you again, John. That's once again helpful to us. Any other comments or questions? We have a motion by Fahey and a second by Morrill. Mike, I think we could go with a voice vote here.
Certainly. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 5, need a motion to approve the Arrowhead Golf Club food bid results. As noted in the packet, unless somebody would like to read every one of those items. Kevin?
Is that, yeah, I'll do it, but is that, do we want to? No, okay. But I will move, all right, go ahead. And then,
I move that we approve the bids as listed in the public agenda.
yeah,
call.
second.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I'm going to give that one to Fry, I think. Any questions or comments?
I would like to make one comment, just congratulating Andy for saving us some money on the appetizers. You went direct to the provider, Van Lang Foods, and so that was a good move, and thanks.
And I think for the public record, we've been doing this bid process for I don't know how many years now, and it's saved us a lot of money over the years, and thanks for taking the lead on that, Andy. So, any other comments or questions? We've got a motion by Kelly and a second by Fry. Mike, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Fry?
Yes.
Commissioner Fahey?
Yes.
Commissioner Vyers? Yes. Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
President Mee?
Yes. Moving on to item number 6, need a motion to approve the golf course chemical bid results for our Arrowhead Golf Club. And once again, those many chemicals are noted in our agenda packet.
And does that page have to be read?
It does not.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Fry and a second by Fahey. Any comments or questions?
Equals anyway.
And Andy, you can pass along to Justin,
Yeah.
our thanks for, taking the lead on this and keeping our golf course in great shape.
Will do.
Appreciate it.
Will do.
And this came up last time. Where are we at on the new barn out there?
We will be completing design work this year. We've engaged an architecture firm to assist us with design for the chemical storage facilities. And then the actual construction of those facilities is budgeted and scheduled to take place in 2020.
Very good. Thank you, Mike. So we do have a motion by Fry and a second by Fahey. Mike, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Fry?
Yes.
Commissioner Fahey?
Yes.
Commissioner Vyers?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
President Mee?
On to number 7, need a motion pertaining to the 2020 fee proposal for the Rice Pool and Water Park and Northside Pool.
I'll move to approve a $1 daily admission increase and a $5 per person increase for season passes for the 2020 season.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? I think it's a nominal, fee increase, and, yeah. And so once again, I appreciate, the staff's, study of this and that recommendation to us. So any other comments or questions? We have a motion by Vyers and a second by Kelly. Mike?
Commissioner Fahey?
Yes.
Commissioner Vyers?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill?
No.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Fry?
Yes.
President Mee?
Yes. Item number 8, we need a motion to approve Resolution 2019-05 pertaining to a candidate for the DuPage County Historical Museum Foundation Board.
So moved.
Second.
Who was that second? It was Ty somewhere.
Morrill.
Morrill? All right, and that would be Emily Doyle is the prospective appointee. Any comments or questions?
No, just congratulations, Emily Doyle.
To Emily.
Yeah.
Good.
Liked her resume and that little paragraph that she wrote that I was just pretty impressed and seemed that she's really excited to partake.
We're
and to be
pleased to have
involved.
her on board. Thank
Yeah.
you.
We, Mike, you can pass on, we appreciate, Emily's stepping up, so. We have a motion by Byers and a second by Morrill. Mike, I think we can do a voice vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item number 9, need a motion to approve resolution number 2019-04, authorizing the estimate of an annual aggregate tax levy.
So moved.
Who was that?
Fahey.
Fahey?
Second.
Fry? Once again, something that we've had much discussion about in the recent past. Any comments or questions by any of the commissioners? Hearing none, Mike, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Fry?
Yes.
Commissioner Fahey?
Yes.
Commissioner Vyers?
Yes.
President Mee?
Yes.
Thank you.
Number 10, need a motion to approve a 3-year agreement with Lauterbach and Amon for audit services for the years 2019 through 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I think we should say what it costs each year. In the motion, as written. Shouldn't we?
Let's,
I would agree.
John, did you want to amend your motion?
Sure. 2019 is $29,730. 2020 is $30,460. 2021 is $31,190.
Ray?
And I'll second that.
Very good. Any comments or questions?
No, only that each year it goes up about 2%, $730, I think is really fair, and that's what it was from 2016 through 18. It was about a 2% increase year over year, and I know it's a great company. So I
Thanks,
just wanted
Kevin.
to share that.
We have a motion by Byers and a second by Morrill. Mike? I think we can do a voice vote here.
Commissioner Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Fry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fahey,
Yes.
Commissioner Byers.
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill.
Yes.
President Mee.
Yes, and I stand corrected. That takes care of our agenda items. Moving on to reports from staff. Mike?
Yes, sir. First, I'd like to thank Diane Hirschberg for all her hard work on the health insurance premium reporting and research, and working with our broker, Dave Meyer at CFM. She's put many, many hours into making sure this is right, and the savings to the Park District is due in large part to the significant effort that she's put into this program over the last several years. So thank you, Diane. On that same subject, we have another handful of insurance coverages that still need to be approved. At press time for this board packet, our final quotes for dental insurance were not yet in. And depending on the carrier, those are also wrapped up with vision and life insurance. So what we've had to do is postpone that. What I'd like to do, if it's acceptable to the board, in order for staff to have as early notification as possible and Diane's team to have as much time as possible in November to deal with it, is on November 6th, we have a normal subcommittee meeting scheduled. I'd like to see if the board would be willing to schedule a very brief special meeting at the beginning of that period of time. So that would be November 6th at 5 p.m. at the DuPage Museum, in order to approve a recommendation from staff regarding dental, vision, and life insurance coverages, instead of waiting to the third week of November.
I would be in favor of that.
Yeah.
By me.
All right, then we will do so. Finally, I did attend the annual joint review meeting for the tax increment finance districts. That's hosted by the city of Wheaton on an annual basis. And it's a great deal of information, but just in summary, as you know, TIF 1 is retired. TIF 2 will retire levy year 2022, which would see that increment coming back to the taxing bodies that it's currently being diverted from in budget year 2023. TIF 3 is scheduled to conclude in 2028. However, all of the current projects on TIF 3, which were the Courthouse Square projects, are complete. And currently there are no, and the TIF does have a significant surplus as of this moment. Currently, there are no formal projects attached to this TIF. That doesn't mean there might not be some in the future if council decides to do so. However, there was discussion at the advisory meeting, discussion advanced by myself and also the school district about what are the possibilities for an early termination for that TIF, which would mean an early either redistribution of surpluses or and the taxes going to the appropriate place. I don't know what the results will be. I know the city is taking a look at what may occur between now and 2028 as far as some additional work that may be contemplated within that TIF, but I wanted to pass on to this board that the concept was brought forward to the city, considering that all of the contemplated projects originally written into TIF 3 are completed, and the TIF sits at a surplus right now. So we'll keep you posted on what happens.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Any questions of Mike? Before we move on to the 2018 Pool Operations Annual Report, any commissioners have any comments or questions pertaining to any other staff reports? Ray? Nothing?
Yeah, just want to congratulate Christina Nemitz for, it's a great article that you submitted to the athletic, I guess it's a Recreation Business Magazine, about partnerships and special events and that. Very, very well done. Nice job. And the only other question is, how do we advertise the park podcast? How do we advertise that so people know it exists?
Social media, the program guide, the website, through e-blasts.
You just put it out there and you hope somebody picks up on it. Okay. I mean, I don't know.
We are seeing more listeners.
If it weren't for the staff telling me it existed, I wouldn't know. And if it weren't for people helping me find it, I would never have gotten it So,
I feel like the longer it goes, as more podcasts come out, will generate more listeners.
For sure.
it's very good and it's interesting, so it's just, I wondered how you let people know that it was there, so, thank you.
Margie, do you need Ray to volunteer to help your social media staff?
You're a social media expert.
Yeah.
He is,
Technology.
Right after you tell them what social media is.
That was
all
cruel.
right. Then let's move on to the 2018 Pool Operations Annual Report. Who's here to address that?
2019 report.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it says
I was gonna correct
2018
him.
here.
Thank
so-
you.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Max Yoshikawa. I'm the Aquatics and Safety Manager. This is my second year. Overall, we had a safe season, a very safe season, very pleased with it. We had 318 employees. 97% of them were from our high schools and colleges. 72% of them were from Wheaton residents, so we had a significant amount of money come back to the community through their wages. Our admissions this year were a little bit down. We had a very cool and wet spring. June was especially tough for us to get going. Plus, the Wheaton School District 200 did not get out of school until almost a third of the month through, so it was a little bit tough to start. Our pool passes were down, 406 passes this year. So both those coupled to see a little bit less people this year. However, again, we were safe and we're very pleased with the facilities that we offer. I would like to congratulate Owen Selesky, Dennis Jenkins, and Gia Segala for completing their first year as Northside managers. We had Tom Grace and Mark Coleman retire last year, so this was their first year running Northside. It was a very strong year for them. I would also like to thank Wendy Russell for her continued dedication to aquatic leadership, mentoring, and focus on safety for the Wheaton community. I'm truly grateful for her guidance, and I'm excited to continue working with her.
Go ahead, John.
I have one quick comment, and I did notice that the attendance numbers were down this year, and it's highly dependent on weather. Just speaking from my perspective alone, we understand that the pools are not profit centers for us. In fact, as a district, we're subsidizing those to allow pools to be available for people during the summertime. I'm really impressed that you guys were able to keep revenue so consistent from year to year, even though the numbers were down a little bit, and I think things are going along pretty, I was going to say swimmingly.
Thank you.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, Max.
Yeah, Donna.
He's already that
Donna,
guy.
put that into minutes.
Swimmingly.
Ray.
I liked your swim lesson T-shirts this year. Swim lessons save lives. I think that was pretty cool. Nice idea. Yeah, the budget does show that you're around $240,000 deficit for this year, as opposed to the $190,000 that shows in the report. So there's a little difference there. Just point that out. Is in your preseason maintenance, that salaries that you show for both Wrights and Northside, does that include Rob's guys or just part-time kids you hire?
No, that's my staff, and it's all lifeguards, typically returners that are coming back from college and want to get started early. So that is strictly my staff getting like the chairs set up.
It's kids coming in.
Yes.
And Rob, so where's your guys?
Dunkin' Donuts?
The maintenance department staff
different department.
are directly
21.
attributed as an expense center for the pools, if that's the question. It's just not reflected on the page you're looking at, I suppose.
Okay, so I'd have to find it in the budget to.
We'd be happy to, if you're looking, if it's not specifically articulated in the report.
It skews the numbers a little bit, but that's okay. I'm all right.
Right.
The bottom line includes those numbers. The deficit we're reporting includes the maintenance department's figures.
Does it?
Yes,
But
it
it doesn't show in the breakdown. Okay.
You're right in the budget. You've asked before why between those two schedules is there a difference? And it's because Rob's numbers are in one and not in the other. He's in Department 101, if you want to get really picky.
I know. You got to search.
Yeah.
We'll include it.
I can let you know what
I
pages
got it.
they are on.
And I do like your objectives for 2020, building awareness and expanding sponsorships and promoting your preseason sales. I thought that's good. I did notice in the survey results, and it seems to be every year, that the one thing we get marked down on is our pool fees. people think our fees are too high, and yet we're still subsidizing the pools to close to 300,000. So, you know, I don't, they just don't understand what it costs, I guess, to run a pool. The reason why I voted no on your pool rates isn't that I'm against the pool at all or in any way, shape, or form, anything that you all do. I think marketing does a great job trying to promote our pools. I think you guys do a wonderful job with the pools and operating them. But we do have a big inconsistency from facility to facility, special facilities, in the differential between a resident rate and a non-resident rate. And I can just give you a quick example. Parks Plus Fitness, straight across the board, they're 25%. Non-residents pay more than residents, 25%. The golf course is all over the map. They run from 31%, 21%, 27%, 38%, 28%, 40%. So they're all over the place. But the pools are at around 44% or 46% more for non-residents than non-residents. And if one of our goals is to increase participation, then I think that if we're not going to get any more residents to use our facilities, we need to be able to entice the non-residents. And that's where I'm coming from. And I'm not saying do away with non-resident fees by any way, shape, or form. I think we have to have non-resident fees. But I think that we need to be more consistent in our non-resident fees. And we as a board have agreed that we're going to discuss this, so I won't harp on it anymore. Thank you. Great report.
Thanks for beating up on Max, Ray.
Nothing to do with the fees.
No.
Yes.
Yes. John, Kelly?
So this is probably more for Andy than, because do the pools kind of fall under you? Or so I'm just making sure you notice that in 2017, our losses our subsidy at Northside was only like 25% of the subsidy we're putting out at Rice Pool. The next year, we got to almost half, and now we're up more than half. So if you look at the Northside subsidy, we've gone from 27,000 to 50,000 to 70,000. If we keep the same trend, we're going to subsidize Northside Pool, which gets half as many people, or way less than half, to the same amount of money that we're subsidizing. You know, so I think you got to look at the expenses at Northside Pool. You know, our expenses per person are getting way higher at Northside than they are at. And if the trend keeps going at 20 to 30,000 a year increase, we're going to be in six figures next year at Northside Pool subsidy. Yeah. And Rice is staying the same. You know, it was 111, it went up to 128, it dropped down to 118. Rice's subsidy's holding. But Northside's just been getting more and more expensive to operate. So I'm just suggesting we look at what we can do for next year to try to at least hold that in the 70,000 range.
Okay. Yes, sir. Will do.
Thanks, John. Bob Fry?
I'm good.
Kevin Fahey?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, John. Max, great report. Thanks, a lot of good information.
Thank you.
Everyone said everything.
You know, Max, it's kind of scary. You must have been reading my mind. Don't do that anymore. You hit on a lot of the high points, you know, that, I took out of this report. You know, the executive summary was great. You know, I think it's important to note that, you know, the Rice Pool's, you know, entering its 32nd year, you know, of operation, and Northside is in its 28th year. And I thanks for, you know, commending Wendy for her continued service. The board certainly does. You know, it's very helpful to keep, you know, very competent, knowledgeable people on. You know, I appreciated the highlights, you know, especially, you know, the fact that we employ, you know, 318, you know, we employ 318, you know, people, if you will, kids mostly, college and high school age, you know, for our summer season. And at the same time, you know, I guess we return back in wages to the local economy, you know, and I'll read the figure in, $368,948. That's significant, you know, so, you know, I think we need to keep up that trend. We have some, certainly the commissioners have noted it, but there has been a downward trend in attendance at both pools, for the past 3 seasons, and that includes, pool pass sales. From 2017, 18, 19, I'm not sure what to make of it. I don't know. If there's an expert out there that can tell us why, I'd certainly like to know it. But, it certainly is a downward attendance trend, and I don't see a significant impact by the weather from year to year. It seems fairly the same. But yes, our visits are down, so, our revenue is going to be down. But I do want to touch on, our fees, because we are the 12th lowest, we have the 12th lowest rate among 17 different park districts in their pools. So, I think that's pretty significant. We're certainly, we have 10 of them, or 11 of them, that of the park districts have much higher pool rates. So I know that there's some attendance numbers in there for the other park districts, so I know you did your homework, and I appreciate that. But, it seems to me, it seems that our pools, our pool passes, our rates, at least for a 4-member family, are very reasonable.
Yeah, they pay for themselves within 6 visits. So
Say it again, Max?
Absolutely. They pay for themselves within 6 visits. So they're very much a family-oriented option for people that are going to come to the pool a lot during the summer.
Yeah, that's a winner, and I appreciate that aquatic facility survey. I know that we only reached 96 users, but, for Rice Pool and Water Park, out of a highest score of 5, our average was 4.6. And as far as Northside Park, again, a high of 5, we got a 4.5, so that's not bad. So I think we're doing a lot of things right. So, as some of the commissioners have talked about, yeah, we do need to look at the pools, and I'm not sure what we're going to make of it. We will look at different rates, but that's not for tonight. So, appreciate all your hard work. Keep it up. You've been doing it for how long now?
2 years here, but this will be 12 years in aquatics.
Yeah, keep doing it, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
How many of these communities that we are compared against actually have 2 pools?
That's a good question. There are a couple that have, for instance, their pool passes are involved with an indoor pool as well. So that does affect the rate as well. Some of them, most of them are not dual facilities like we are, except for occasionally that indoor one, like a Bowling Brook.
Okay.
But as far as whether it covers both pools, I can look into that for the ones that do, but there are not many.
Thank you.
Great.
Question, Max, do you guys, is there a roundtable group that get together, talk about aquatic issues and problems and trends? And
I am a part of a couple different ones. We do an Ellis and Associates one, which is focused on our lifeguards and our safety stuff, and that one meets twice a year. Obviously, we can meet with our regional rep more often as needed. Wendy is a senior advisor with them, so she's a valuable resource for me. As far as other aquatic directors that are looking at trying to get their numbers up and trying to bring people into their pools, there are local ones that are strictly either IPRA ones that are meeting, and then there's also informal groups that are meeting as well, kind of looking at, one of the more recent ones I attended was about birthday party packages and how we can market those to the community and how we run and facilitate those. So I am a part of a couple different ones in the area.
Are the other communities facing the same issues, problems, subsidies?
We're actually very fortunate, I can tell you that. When I talk about some of the things we're seeing, for instance, our preseason sales, it's kind of a secret I don't like to talk too much about with them because I don't want them to steal a great idea. But we have a lot better numbers than some of our competitors to an alarming degree, actually. They're pretty freaked when they're like, you have that many preseason sales? I wish I could get that in April. So it's a different climate out and about.
Is maybe some of our problem, too, in the multiple financing and discounts that we give? I mean, there's like 4 or 5 different prices as you start in January and work to May. Does that complicate matters, or I don't know?
That's a good question. We do, for instance, in 2019, we had 66% of our pool passes in preseason. But when you look at, for instance, our last sale, the 10% sale, that one ran until April 30th. That was our low. It hasn't been that low in a while, and part of that can be attributed to the weather. Am I going to use this pool pass this year? So honestly, when we have 67 almost 66% of our revenue already generated before we open the doors. To me, that's a good sign. I don't know quite how we would adjust that. It would be certainly a discussion, but I think other pools in other park districts would be very jealous of that.
You guys are meeting and they have the same problems.
Very similar. A lot of it is staffing, to be honest.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes our reports from staff. We do have a need for a closed session tonight, based on the fact that we may need to come out of that closed session for a vote. I would need a motion to recess to closed session under 5 ILCS 120/2C1, appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Vires and a second by Morrill.
Commissioner Vires?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Fahey?
Yes.
Commissioner Fry?
Yes.
President Mee?
Yes.